Another exciting time for South Africa as we come to the 2019 elections, a month or two away. And as usual, I am asking the questions of the people that I meet every day in my work and in my home environment and everywhere I go. Are you voting in South Africa? Are you going to vote? And as usual, at least 90% of the people I speak to have said they don't want to vote. They feel that the country is failing and that they have, they feel that they shouldn't vote. And I keep trying to motivate them. And so what I do is I motivate them with two statements, which I'm going to tell you right now. And hopefully these two statements that I'm going to tell, these two stories, will motivate you to vote in the future election coming up. The first story is, if you go to the voting station, and you do go to the voting station, and you stand at the voting station, and you look at the faces of all the politicians that you're going to vote for, ask yourself, if I was to die today and I had to hand over my children or my future children to one of these politicians, thinking about morality, ethics, bringing them up in the correct way, the way you feel that they need to be brought up, which one of these politicians would you give your children to? And if you don't decide to go for the one you want to because their moral integrity isn't sound, you need to rethink who it is you're going to give your children to, because that's technically what you're doing. You're giving your children to these people going forward. Okay, so think about that very carefully. And number two, if you're walking down the road with your children and suddenly some thief or robber or jumps out with a gun and he's holding the gun at you, what's the first thing you're going to do? I hope you said take your children and put your children behind you, don't you think? To protect them, because they're your children. Now ask yourself that same question, and a politician jumps out. What are you going to do if it's a bad politician? Somebody that's not doing well, not treating the country well. What are you going to do with your children? I hope you thought about that very carefully and decided to go, hopefully, with a politician that will look to the benefit and improvement of the South African people. So those are my two ideas, and I'm focusing really on the children and their future. I feel that we are all adults, and that we are able to look after ourselves, and that we are capable of finding work if we really have to, and all those things, that we cry about, that we say we can't get. But when you're an adult, you have to figure those things out. That's part of life. But your children, they're children. They're hoping that when you leave, or when you step aside, that what you leave them is something they can build on. Home life, jobs, education, all those things. And it's our responsibility to try and give them that. So remember what I'm saying going forward in these elections. I'll talk to you later. Bye.